This is the real way to squat in the downswing, and to my amazement, no instructor ever tells you to squat this way. Now let me hit two shots to show you here. The first one's going to be what the country club instructor will tell you to squat in the downswing, and the second one will be the real way. And once we've hit these, we're going to have a look and compare them. So let's have a go. So let's look at the two shots. The first one, which is I'm going to call the country club squat. We can see here, I mean, it's an okay shot, but not very powerful. It's just a little bit lackluster. Not what we expect out of a squat move. So let's look at the second one, the real way to squat. Incredible difference. So you can see with that vast difference in distance, you would have thought I'm doing something completely different. I am doing something different between these, and we're going to get into that, but it's extremely simple to do, which is going to give you the distance and control, which is what you want out of the squat move. Now, if we dive into the technicality of why those two are different and how to do it. So the first one, the country club squat, in the simplest terms, I was just lowering down, I was squatting. Seems common sense, right? That's what most of you have been told to do. But the second one, with the incredible difference there, I was pushing my hips back as much as I humanly possibly could in that downswing. So let's dive into that first, and then we'll actually get to the country club squat at the end there. So, okay, the second one with the incredible difference, I was starting my downswing, pushing my hips back as much as I possibly could. Now, when I push those hips back, it is going to lower me towards the ground. So that's one, it's going to get me that squatted move because I'm going to be moving into more flexion. So that's when we see players squat in the downswing, the top players in the world, they're not actually trying to squat. They are moving their hips deeper in the downswing, pushing the pelvis back. So what we've got to understand as well, when we are lowering in the golf swing, so via this, which is pushing the pelvis back, we are lowering for the pure sole purpose of loading vertical force, so then you can spike it out the ground again with extension. Lowering down and staying there does zero to your golf swing. It will hurt you more than anything, which we will dive into when we talk about the country club squat. So, one, it's lowering me down, loading the vertical force. Two, when I am pushing my pelvis back, I am pushing my left hip back, which rotates me, it opens me up. So that's a huge, huge benefit because it starts the rotational sequencing at the same time. Pushing the pelvis back, lowers you, loads the vertical force, and starts to open up the hips. Three, it keeps your hip tilt. So golf ball is on the ground. We need to stay tilted to the golf ball because we're rotating at an object on the ground. If the ball's up in the air, we can have what we call level tilt, flat. But it's on the ground, so we need to keep this tilt. If I'm pushing my hips back, which means pushing my left side back, I'm going to be keeping my left side lower than the right. This is such a key thing to be able to continually move through the downswing freely. Because if I don't do that and I lift up that left hip, I'm now going to extend my body, I'm going to tilt back, it's going to be nasty. I'm not going to continue that squat, and that is not going to help us. So, helps me with my tilt, and like we said, the purpose of going down is to come back up again, spike the force back out the ground, which is left side extension coming through the golf ball. If I continually push my hips back, look at my left leg. See how it's straightening out? That's the force coming back out the ground again. So, pushing the pelvis back, as we're going to see here, one is the real way to squat, but it helps so much more than that. Your rotation, your tilt, and then your extension through the ball. And it's incredibly powerful of a move. It actually helps you shallow the golf club as well, as you've seen from some of my videos recently. So, incredibly good move to do. As you can see from the distance, that one, still extremely good. So, let's get into the country club squat and then some drills to do to get the real way. So let's dive into the technicality of the country club squat. So we'll do this and then get into the drills. Another way I describe this move is the biggest time waster that golfers indulge in. So ultimately, this is just the very simplistic view of lowering down. Now, as we said, when we do it the real way, we'll open up the hips, we'll keep tilt, and we'll vertically extend. We don't get any of that with just lowering down with a country club squat. So if I lower down here, and just physically squatted down, I've now lowered my swing so far down into the ground, I have to stand up an incredible amount. Really have to stand up a ton. So I have to physically get and manufacture that vertical force coming out there. Horrible. So, two, if I just lower myself dead straight down, I haven't had any back move, so I haven't rotated at all. So I'm going to stall out my rotation, it's going to be awful. And we can see, if I just lower dead straight down, my two hip bones are now level. I've lost my tilt. So again, now there's no hope of me being able to move through the golf ball. So that's why when I hear a country club squat swing, and that was exactly what I was about to say, it's going to make me fat. The golf ball, the distance is going to be terrible. It's just not a good thing to have. That's why so many golfers obsess about the squat. The squat is a byproduct of good pelvis movement. It's not something you need to independently work on in your golf swing, which is why when we get into this and get into the drill, like we said, it helps with so many different areas. So reframe it in your mind. You don't want to squat, you want to push your hips back, which just so happens to squat you. Let's get into the drill. So guys, the off season is here. So now is the time to start working on your game in preparation for next season to be the best season ever. So if you want to make changes, just like you're seeing here with my students, I want to do it over the winter period, well, you're in luck because I've just launched the Winter Improvement Plan. So what do you get with the Winter Improvement Plan? You get 4 lessons per month, and it's for all under the price of 2 single lessons. So an absolutely amazing deal. So 4 lessons per month is absolutely perfect for the amount of lessons to have optimal improvement month in, month out. So that's where we can have good interaction, have really keeping you on plan and making sure that we're giving your swing the time and attention it needs to have that massive improvement from off season to in season. So it's an absolute brilliant way to work on your golf swing to get it ready for next season. But any lesson package or subscription on my skill list is absolutely a brilliant way to work on your golf swing. And don't just take my word for it. Here are the testimonials of my students and the massive improvements they've made. So if you want to ask me any questions, you can message me over on my skill list profile and I'll absolutely answer anything you want. And I'm looking forward to working with you and improving your golf swing. So not only are we going to talk about the drill here, we're going to talk about the feel to use also. So let's talk about the feel first, because we can do this, we can practice this, we can even go onto the course with this. So what this is, imagine there's a brick wall 2 foot behind you. So this is something I've been talking a lot on my channel recently. If there's a brick wall 2 foot behind you, what you want to try and do, you want to try and back your hips with an emphasis on the left hip in the downswing. As soon as you start that downswing, push it back. So we'll also make the squat, real way to squat way easier if you keep your hips back in the backswing. We see so many people who thrust upwards, get taller, early extend. They actually start to move their hips back in the backswing, or hips forward in the backswing. So we want to move the hips back in that backswing there, and we want to keep the hips back throughout the entirety of the downswing. Feel like you're hitting and you're pushing against a wall. So imagine there's a wall there behind you, you're trying to hit it both in backswing and downswing, and it will squat you the real way. So okay, that's how we do that. Drill to do, classic drill. So this drill, so many of you have seen it a lot on my channel. You've probably already seen it, let's say, or tried it on the driving range to not much success, because it's all about how you do this drill, and the intent of it is how effective it is. So with this, okay, what we want to do to get that squat, push the pelvis back as much as possible. If we've got a chair, let's say a camping chair behind us, what do we want to do here? We want to push it back as much as I can. It's going to put me into flexion, it's going to rotate me, it's going to squat me, it's going to keep me in tilt, it's going to extend my lead leg going through the golf ball. Brilliant, lovely. So push this back in the backswing, push it back in the downswing. Boom, I've done the natural way to squat. So as you can see, if I can get reps and reps and reps in doing this, I am going to get this into my swing. And if I feel like on the golf course I'm pushing the hips back onto a wall, then I'm going to start to get this more natural way to squat. But absolutely guys, this is something I always see with students sending in swings for lessons on Skillist, writing what they experience with the golf swing. So many students are saying they're trying to squat and they have no business trying to actually physically get a squat into their golf swing, because like we said, it's a byproduct. It's not something that independently you want to do. So like we saw with Rory at the very beginning of the video, Rory very undoubtedly is not trying to squat. He's just moving his hips so well that it will move it into flexion and it will squat him, and it's all the other little benefits you get from it. And squatting as well only matters if you come back up again, if you extend. If you squat too much and squat the amount that people think you need to squat like this, you've got no hope. It's a little movement, it's tiny, tiny little movement. It's almost like an embellishment to some extent. If you do the right moves, you're going to get it in. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.